resilience, the ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Got to have it. It's going to happen, but man, we got to excel in it. The cracks of living life, playing in the NFL, fill them with gold, man.
It's week number 18 of this NFL season and time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy inside the Globe Life studio here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy as the Cowboys play the regular season finale, 3:25 kickoff Dallas time at the Washington Commanders. And coach, right off the top, I know that you share in this. We give our thoughts and prayers to the Buffalo Bills and, of course, Damar Hamlin and his family. It's been a very tough week around the National Football League. What's it like for you and the team as they got back to work here on Wednesday?
Well, I think we were all, Monday night, just to, obviously when it happened. So I think like most things, it makes you, pull within and speak on it as a family and what families do. And obviously, I think it's an incredible example of the power of prayer. And to date, Damar is making progress, and our thoughts and prayers are continue with him and his family, the Bills organization, the Bengals, and everybody that was there. So we're looking for much better days ahead. So it's definitely something I think we'll all remember, and I think it really brings things and puts things in perspective.
There was great news on Thursday to hear his remarkable improvement, as the Bills put it. As for getting ready to play a football game now against Washington, there's a lot to play for on Sunday afternoon. Some within your control, some not within your control. But how do you approach it as a team, especially with the playoffs looming next week too?
Really our approach is no different, and I think clearly the way the games have been scheduled, I think it's a benefit, and because you don't want to carry that into a game. So, we're going out there to compete for our 13th win, and then, see where it puts us. And we have the benefit of knowing that we are in the playoffs. So, we're playing for that 13th win, and see what the highest seed that we can attain from that. So, we got a lot to play for.
Washington has already announced that rookie Sam Howell, their fifth-round draft pick, is going to start his first NFL appearance. Spent a lot of time looking at Washington preseason games and North Carolina film this week.
Oh, definitely. I mean, any snap that Sam played, it's on the tape, so I can promise you that. But yeah, and I think just like anything too, you can overdo those things, from a preparation standpoint, and because this is an extremely efficient football team with their production. I mean, when you look at their offensive numbers and their defensive numbers, they do a great job. And I mean top notch as far as their rankings of staying on time. Defensively, how they attack you schematically, but they have a tremendous talented front four that they're able to work off of, and and on offense, they're extremely productive. They do an excellent job of distributing the football, and they have multiple perimeter players that, that can get it done. So I've been very impressed with their video.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show. Up next, it's David Moore, the Dallas Morning News.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. The University of North Texas, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, an NRG company.
How y'all approach the Damar Hamlin situation?
We're sending our prayers out to the Hamlin family, to both organizations in that game, and everyone else that was involved. It's definitely a traumatic experience. And I just want to pray for everyone involved and hope the best.
Prayers to him again. I can't say it enough. I don't even know the guy honestly, but I know sure as hell that he don't deserve this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just playing this game is tough, bro. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. My grandmother literally called me the second it happened. She's been calling me every day since. So just tell everyone that you love them, and just be mindful. You never know what anybody's going through or what they're about to go through. So
Yeah, great news though. I mean, obviously just hearing that he's been writing. I mean, I saw this morning that he was responsive, and gripping hands, and obviously now taking the step of writing. I'm as happy as can be. Obviously, I mean, I think as everybody saw Monday night, right, and the world went into a shock, right, and just now a couple days later, as we just said, prayer is powerful. God is great. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I texted him and I told him I love him. And that's what I would tell him if I could talk to him right now. Let him know I love him, and I can't wait to see him, see him back around, smiling, being himself.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones now joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, SportsTodayDFW.com. Here in the Globe Life studio, you hear Cowboys players talking about it all across the NFL. Damar Hamlin and everyone's thoughts and prayers. It has been a different week in that Cowboys locker room this week, though.
It has, and good news toward the end of the week about his neurological advancement and being able to recognize and hear it and grip and do some things, hold family hands, huge moment. And that was felt across the league. And, it was such a jarring event, especially in the context of, for a professional athlete and a coaching staff at this time of year, so much drive, discipline, tunnel vision towards success, the playoffs, what you're going to do. No one in the sport's in really a reflective mood at this time of year or has time for it. And an event like this forces everyone, whether they're in a different organization or not, to step back and really wrestle with some larger questions and reflect on just what this sport is and how the dangerous and how violent it can be. And so every team and every city around the league preparing for Week 18 has dealt with this, and the Cowboys were no different. They had to acknowledge what everyone is feeling, while at the same time still getting the focus back on what it is, because when you have this sort of drive and it's been focused on this point for so long, you don't want to give it up, and you can't give it up. But you do have to let events of the outside world come in and deal with it.
Well, and now approaching this Week 18 game against Washington, and there's something riding on it. And so from that standpoint, you can get tunnel visioned on focusing on football and getting ready for the playoffs at the same time, right?
Yeah, and I think this is a very good scenario that Dallas goes into in Week 18. And you saw last year Mike McCarthy, played it out with the guys, wanted that edge going into the postseason. I think having an edge going into the postseason, it sounds simplistic to say it's essential. It is essential, but I would argue for a team that has not had a deep playoff run in a while, it's even more important. And this is what the Cowboys franchise is facing. It hasn't been past the second round, as we know, 26 years. And you have to build toward that. And you don't want to get to a point to say, oh, well, we can rest here in Week 18. Let's make sure we're all healthy to make a solid run. That is part of the equation. But you can't dull the edge that you have, and you have to fight through, because what have you done in the postseason in a long time? So I think this, in a lot of ways, this is a good scenario for the Cowboys to go into the postseason.
All right, it's going to be very interesting. David Moore, we appreciate it. Up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, we hear from Cowboys cornerback Nahshon Wright.
This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions. Trusted by America's team.
Nahshon Wright, defensive back. We had a call. I got my reroute, did what I was supposed to do, and the quarterback scrambled. I initially thought he was going to try to just get some yardage. He threw it. I just happened to be in the right spot and just jumped up and grabbed it. And after that, ran to the end zone, did my little celebration. I spent the ball not even realizing that was my first one. So Trey picked it up for me, brought it back to the sideline for me. So. It's meant a lot. Just know, like, I don't even know how many games I missed or whatnot.
but just kind of staying in tune with it, meeting with DQ and Coach Al consistently, just kind of staying in it, because this is a sport of football where this type of stuff can happen. So just staying mentally prepared for the moment, and when it was time, my time was called, I went in there and just tried to do my job to the best of my ability. A great deal, just being out there, especially with our guys. We got guys like Micah, D-Law, I mean everybody. Just being out there, being able to play with them, that alone just gives you confidence, just go out there and compete with the best. They're a good group, they have a good group of receivers, they have a great back, so I think they're well-rounded in terms of like just offensive perspective, like them running the ball. They have a great running back. They have a good core receiver, so we know that they're going to test us in the air and in the run game, so we just have to be sound. We talk every day, like it's religious, especially after what we have been through. We talk every day, just kind of, I'm kind of teaching him what I'm learning, so that way when he gets in here, he kind of has an idea, so yeah.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Nashawn Wright and that Cowboys defense going up against this Washington team. Will McClay here to break it down. We got the telestrator out. Let's start off on the offensive side of the football. And how about with the running back out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Brian Robinson?
Third-round pick this year, 6 foot, 225 pounds. Went through things before the season, but what it shows you is he's a strong, determined young man. Look at him running the football here. Their identity. It's going to be an inside run. He's going to set up the block, and then he's going to show the power. He always finishes forward. There's 5 guys trying to bring him down. Now we'll take a look at another play on him here. Now show his ability to bounce and get the ball outside. Sets up the block, and then watch him step on the gas to get to the second level. Just an explosive running play.
All right, so that's an example of what the Cowboys will face in the run game. And when you look at the passing game for Washington, of course, they're starting a rookie quarterback, but they got a veteran at wide receiver, and Terry McLaurin is really good.
Very talented receiver group, but he's the guy that leads it. Over 3 years, 3 years over 1,000 yards. He's averaging 15 yards a catch here. They're going to go play action. They're run heavy, but now you're going to see they're going to use their speed to go vertical. But his job, he sets up the DB, he runs by him, and now to make the contested catch and track the ball is why he's such a big play receiver for him.
Such a consistent, dependable receiver, Terry McLaurin. Look on the defensive side of the football, and up front, they like Alabama guys. And how about Daron Payne? The season he's having 11.5 sacks.
11.5 sacks for an interior guy. Big, strong, physical, and an extremely instinctive player, too. We're going to look at him here on the pass rush. Just watch him here explode off of the ball, two-hand swipe, splits 2, big-time sack.
All right, so he's the inside rusher, and one of the guys on the outside, that would be Montez Sweat out of Mississippi State.
6'6", 245 pounds, runs a 4.45.
Runs a what? Runs a 4.45. Wow.
All right, you see him getting off here. They're running the game. There's him and Payne, but then you look at his ability to split and then close very quickly. Dangerous defense.
All right, and that's an example of what the Cowboys are going to be facing against this Washington team. Up next, Mike McCarthy rejoins us on the Mike McCarthy Show.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions. Trusted by America's team. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy here inside the Globe Life Studios. We get you ready for the Cowboys and the Commanders on Sunday afternoon. And Coach Will McClay breaking down some of the stars on the Washington team, including one Daron Payne, who has 11.5 sacks. Washington has a pretty stout defensive front, don't they?
Oh, definitely. And I think 11.5 sacks from the
interior,
sacks from the inside is so impressive. You know, and I think just the combination that they've had for the last 3 or 4 years is dynamic. But it starts up front with their defense, no doubt about it. But they do a good job with double corner pressure and schematically really challenging your run your run offense. So this is going to be a really good challenge for us.
Yeah, okay, I want to ask you about your offensive line. One guy in particular, and that would be one Zach Martin, who is completing his 9th NFL season. Of course, 8 Pro Bowls now, and you shake your head because the efficiency with which this guy plays the game is just remarkable throughout his entire career, and just seems to be getting better and better as the years go along.
I mean, he's a pro's pro, and I think that's, from the first time you have an opportunity to work with Zach, you just see his approach, and in the word consistency just goes all the way through his profile. The way he shows up every day, the way he's here in the off season. You go to strength conditioning and just his practice environment. Obviously, his film prep, but ultimately just to play at the level that he's played at consistently throughout his whole career. He has a special career in the making, definitely.
Yeah. All right. I want to ask you about the run game a little bit, because one of the best things that I see on that practice report this week is Tony Pollard as a full participant. And as you head into the postseason next week with a healthy Tony Pollard, a healthy Ezekiel Elliott, 2 guys who have combined for 21 rushing touchdowns this season, and one of the big reasons that you are so efficient in the red zone as well this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Tony and Zeke, just this combination is, that's who we are. I mean, that's a big part of our offense. It's a big part of the complementary football formula. And, really Zeke is, I think the 3 or 4 days off after the Tennessee game has really helped Zeke also, because, he's had some extra juice in practice this week. So, yeah, this is, like I said, we're playing to win the game, and we're going to line up with Zeke and Tony and go for it.
All right, on the defensive side of the ball, as you go into your 17th game of the season, Donovan Wilson leading the team in tackles now. He's got 5 sacks on the season, which leads all DBs in the league. How much has Donovan Wilson meant to this defense?
I mean, impact player. And I think if you look at our 3 safeties, I mean, it's pretty unique to have, and they're all different. That's what I love about those guys. And but Dono is just, his impact plays, it's every day. If anything, you got to slow him down a little bit in practice. But, it just, you go back to the first play of the Philadelphia game. But, I mean, that's who he is. And, whether he's bringing pressure, his ability to take the ball away from, the offensive perimeter players is uncanny. So, yeah, he's a dynamic player. He's having a great year.
All right, we wrap up this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show in just a moment.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dak Prescott is this year's Cowboys nominee for the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, recognizing NFL players for outstanding community service off the field and excellence on the field. Help Dak earn a $25,000 donation to his Faith Fight Finish Foundation by tweeting WPMOY Challenge followed by @Dak. Final couple of minutes here of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Cowboys and the Commanders. Sunday afternoon, 3:25, time for our unsung star of the week. And I'm going with special teams this week. I'm going with your place kicker, Brett Maher. And I look back, even going into training camp, we didn't know who the kicker was going to be on this team. And what a season Brett Maher has put together.
Boy, what a blessing, huh? No doubt about it. I just, from the time, we had to work out there at camp, and he has just come in and has owned it, and it's just like anything, until you get to know the players, you get to know the individuals, their people skills and how they fit in. He's a great teammate also. So not only is he a dynamic kicker having a great year, but he's a great locker room guy, and he just has been a tremendous fit for our football team. Obviously, it helps that he's been here before, so he knows the climate when he came back. But man, I just love everything about him, just the way he goes about his business, and obviously his performance is, he's having a great year.
9 for 11 on kicks beyond 50 yards. He's a weapon for you too.
Oh, no doubt about it. I think every game you go into, you have an idea based on the weather and so forth, and you get out there in pregame and you look at the numbers and so forth, and so if the line's the 42 or the 38, and there's never no hesitation, so and that speaks volumes about him, because that confidence that I have is because of him and his performance and his consistency since he's been here.
All right, good luck against those Commanders on Sunday. We appreciate all of you joining us here on the Mike McCarthy Show, and we will see you again next week for a postseason edition of the Mike McCarthy Show.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.